Oh, blimey. Flippin' hell, he's cuckoo. He's absolutely cuckoo. Well, that's what it says here. Yeah, it says he's cuckoo. It does, yeah, cuckoo. He is. Elon Musk, that is. You know, the richest man in the world has lost the plot. Yes, he's cuckoo. It's got to be said. Yes. I don't think anyone can really argue it, actually, considering the crap that's been coming out of his gob recently. He wants to perform some Trussonomics. Yeah, Trussonomics. You know, well, that went, didn't we, eh? Anyway, well, yeah, please boot the old like button. But you see, Elon Musk, he's going to be the government, or going to head up this new department. It's the Government Efficiency Department for Donald Trump. When and if Donald Trump becomes the president of the United States. Oh, ain't you excited? Well, you see, I just... Anyway, let me read this to you, all right? Because this is nuts. Anyway, he's cuckoo. Elon Musk call for Americans to embrace temporary hardship if Donald Trump is elected. Backfires as he's reminded of his own 270 million in wealth. Hypocrite. Put your hand in your pocket without buying votes. That better start. Yes, he's been running a sweepstake, a 1 million sweepstake, where he's getting people to vote, and giving them £1 million in a sweepstake every single day. Lovely guy. Yeah, very generous in that. Yeah. Well, now Donald Trump has been musing over openly about being a dictator for a day. Yeah, where he's going to literally get rid of everybody, and anyone who goes up against him, they're all going to end up in jail or be hung. One or the other, or electric chair maybe, or lethal injection. You know, get rid of all his opponents. That doesn't sound like a dictatorship, does it? Of course it doesn't. So he's seeking retribution against his political enemies and mass deportations. It's not going to happen. You got someone to deport too, haven't you? So mass deportations. Oh my God's sake, this is just ridiculous. Oh. Now, appearing Friday at the campaign town hall, one of his more outspoken surrogates, Elon Musk, he said this. Oh, God, there we go. Elon Musk said, Americans should prepare for temporary hardship. Yeah. Got to prepare for... Is there a way of actually getting those who got no money to say they'll do a vote for you now? I'd have thought that was damaging for Donald Trump. So, yes, going to have to prepare for temporary hardship if the Republican nominee reassumes the presidency. Hence, Donald Trump, the dump. Musk said he would balance the budget immediately, cutting social services to people that he said are taking advantage of the government. The thing is, we know he would do that if he had the power to do that. Look what he did with Twitter. He got rid of, what is it, like 2,000 employees just like that or something pretty much overnight. All the people who were making sure the platform ran reasonably, how to put it, ethically, they all went. It was bad back then. God's sake, this place, I don't go on there now. I've stopped using it. You know, I've been on a couple of times in case people have sent me messages or anything. But other than that, I'm not bothering with it. It's just like the flipping, it's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. No, it really is. So Musk has said he would balance the budget immediately. Oh, yes, okay. That sounds very Trussonomic. So what was this a bit like Grease Lightning? Grease Lightning or Trussonomic. God's sake. So, can you imagine what happened in the United States if he did that? Can you imagine what happened to the rest of the world if he did that? It would collapse. The economic system would collapse overnight. This is such a risk. So Trump's proposed Department of Government Efficiency, which would trim the fat, I need a bit of fat trimming, I do, from the government agency, particularly those responsible for oversight and regulation. He wants to do what he did to Twitter. And if it's not done, we'll just go bankrupt, he says. Really? Yes, they got a massive debt, over 30 trillion in debt. But they've also got a massive amount of assets. They've got a lot of borrowing power as well. So yeah, they just increase the debt. What they've got to do is do what we were hoping to do, and is increase our economy. We need growth. We need growth, baby. We need growth. And we need growth that doesn't go into the hands of like single individuals such as Elon Musk. Because people keep buying their crap. And yes, crap. Exactly what it is. Those flipping cars, I seem to have a habit of catching light recently. Yeah, in not such a favourable terms. Oh my God, yeah, it's all wet down there. So I walk on this field, it's all boggy. But walking on it anyway, see what we do. Do what we do. See what we do? Blimey. So, that'll obviously shock the markets, wouldn't it? If Elon Musk got that amount of power, that would really shock the markets. And we saw what happened when Liz Truss shocked the markets, when she became the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for 44 days. And, well, Kwasi Kwarteng got sacked immediately, didn't he? We saw what happened there. You know, can you imagine it? Oh my God. You can't play Russian roulette with a country's economy. You've got to make clear judgment calls, not shock the economy, because everything would just go tits up overnight, you know? You get panic in the markets, the bonds will just, oh my God, they're going away. Your ability to borrow will plummet because of guilt and all that. So you won't be able to pull yourself out of it very easily. Now in the UK, it was a little bit different in many ways. I don't know if they've done the same, but they got gold, to be fair. But in the UK, the Bank of England governor, Andrew Bailey, he did do something that actually was quite good, really, because it gave him the ability to prop up the UK's economy after Liz Truss. Now, they had about 80-odd billion in bonds that were bought that they could sell, or they set aside to sell because of this situation. Luckily, that was only 20 billion that cost in the end. But still 20 billion that we wouldn't have to pay if it wasn't for Liz Truss's cock-up, damaging pensions and borrowing and what have you. Not borrowing, I mean investments. It is nuts. And yet we're supposed to look up to these people. And I just had an intern, and he thought he didn't understand the politics behind Elon Musk. He didn't realise the things that he's been saying or been doing, but you know, he respected him for his science and, you know, the fact that because of Tesla and SpaceX and all that sort of stuff, and he thought that was fascinating, you know, but he kind of avoids the politics. But because of that, he didn't understand what the guys was really, really about. And that's where it becomes more dangerous, because the thing is, people got their head in the sand. They really have. But what's going on? You don't have to look too deeply to really get what that man is about. And that man is, like Donald Trump, is about him. Elon Musk is about Elon Musk. What person would cut off their own child because they decided, but they realised that they were trans? Who does that? You know, he's not a real man. He certainly is not a father. He's just like spawning kids. Like goats, I suppose. Anyway, what do you think of Elon Musk's plan to balance the economy, balance the books by shocking it? So he calls it temporary. It will be temporary, that'll last years. You cause that amount of damage, it will last years. Because your economy's not going to grow, it will shrink. So you're going to have to pay the debt off. So you've got to have to pay the debt off. How are you going to do it if your economy shrinks that far? Because the cuts that you would be able to make aren't going to be enough to actually balance the books. They just aren't. The only way you can pull yourself out is by actually investing in the infrastructure. And that's kind of what Biden's been doing. And he has increased the economy. Now, the people aren't feeling it because of inflation. The same everywhere around the world. Everyone's got inflation. Every country did pretty much the same thing. They borrowed more money to try and steady the ship, so to speak, because they had to. So everyone's doing it together, so everyone's in the same boat. If it was one country or another, there'd been a bit of a massive situation. But every country had to borrow money to steady the ship. But the problem is when you borrow money or print money, add money into the economy without anything, especially printing money, add money in to add money in to try to kickstart the economy. when all you're doing is diluting the existing money because you get inflation. It's just fact. It's always that been the case. You know, it might not be a lot of inflation sometimes, but sometimes it can be. It can become a bit of a, what's the word? Oh, crikey. Like an event where it just keeps on going. Oh, what's it called now? Catalyst? Oh, like a catalyst. So anyway, if you know what I mean. And that creates an even bigger situation. Think of it like this, I suppose. If you've got, I don't know, some cordial in a glass, you've got that much cordial in the bottom with your water in there, then you've basically added more water, which you could say is the extra money you're putting into it, and you put that in to your glass, you dilute the cordial in the glass, effectively making it weaker. So you're making the value of your dollar or your pound weaker. Is that a good analogy or not? I don't really know, actually. Anyway, what say you? Please leave it in the comments down below. Do you think Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, by sacking everybody, is a brilliant idea? Please leave it in the comments down below. But also, we're doing a rewilding here in France where we're planting trees. And Elon Musk should plant a shitload of trees because he keeps firing rockets into the sky and destroying the atmosphere. Yeah, and our protection from all these solar flares and stuff. Yeah, we're all going to get burnt nipples if we go out topless. It's terrible, I tell you. It really hurts. So anyway, if you want, please stay below for that. For our rewilding project where we're planting 1,000 trees on 2 hectares of land, and if you want to be part of that, like I say, go for me link there below. If you want, oh bloody hell, I'll get the worms out in a minute. Basically, we'll make a sign to go with your tree, okay? It could be a name of a loved one, what have you, or a pet, or just your name, or maybe a present for Christmas, you know, whatever. Anyway, links down below. But also, we've got our Patreon and our memberships, and I've started something new. You might not know this. But there's 2 cameras. There is, hello. There's 2 cameras. And because there's 2 cameras, one camera is going to be uploaded to Patreon and YouTube memberships. And the other one is going to go on my normal channel. Yeah, so you don't see all the cock-ups I make. Yeah, that one's going to have cock-ups. That one's not. Although I've managed to do it in one take. Although I slipped up a few times. Anyway, it's time for me to go. So I'm going to say toodaloo, you know. So toodaloo. Don't forget to beat the like button.